Guys, a whale has just moved 10,000 Bitcoin worth $1.09 billion from a wallet. And this Bitcoin was worth originally $7,805. Okay, so this is very, very worrying, guys, when you start to see these dormant wallets that haven't moved their crypto for 14 years. It really does worry me, and this is probably a video that not many maxis are going to like. And one thing I'll say that's different about our channel is we try to be non-biased, we try to not get too bullish, we try to take into account the real risks, because there are real risks with crypto, especially Bitcoin. Even though we're told it's safe, it's secure, it's not going anywhere, even BlackRock have come out and started issuing warnings about Bitcoin and potential risks, right? So in this video, we're going to do a deep dive into the risks around Quantum, how I think it's going to go down if Quantum does hack Bitcoin, what my strategy would be. We've got loads of new data that's come out that it's actually sooner now that they expect Quantum to be able to hack Bitcoin. So it's a very pressing subject. We're going to talk about Ethereum, and is Ethereum safer? Is it the safer option? Is that why we're seeing institutional interest in Ethereum? Michael Saylor's response to the Quantum issue, and yeah, just really what I'm doing. So this is how I've always said that if Bitcoin is hacked, this is how I've always said that it's going to go down. They're going to be smart people, right? They're using Quantum. They're on the edge of technology. They're not going to go after Satoshi's wallet. They're not going to go after some of the government wallets. They're not going to go after public wallets that are active. How would you do it if you were to hack? So I posted this, 14 years hold to $1 billion is very off. I wonder sometimes if they've found a way to hack lost wallets via Quantum, and are going through all the dormant wallets, trying not to spook the system. So this is exactly what I guess most people would do if you had you'd figured out how to hack Bitcoin, and you wanted to start pulling money out of the system. If you were to go after Satoshi's wallet, because one of the arguments is, oh, if they were going to hack it, we would see Satoshi's money's missing. Why would you go after the most watched wallet that we suspect is never going to move, right? Because we suspect Satoshi is no longer around, or the account's been lost, or the seed phrase has been lost. Why would you go after that? Because if you went after that wallet, the price is going to do this, right? And you're not going to be able to make any money. What you would actually want to do is go after the dormant wallets that have been sitting around for so long, where you're pretty much convinced that that wallet is never going to be active, or that wallet has been lost, or the person's lost the seed phrase. Now, this wallet specifically purchased around $7,800 worth of Bitcoin, and it still hasn't sold after $1 billion. Okay, so what do we know about this purchase? To purchase 7,800, you're most likely retail. Okay, so you're likely to be a retail investor, not an institutional, or not a whale. And to not take any profits from 7,800 up to $1 billion is very, very unusual. Okay, even for especially for retail. I mean, who's going to invest 7,000 into something and not take profits at $1 million, not take profits at 10 million, not take profits at 100 million, not take profits at 500 million? Do you understand how crazy that would be for a retail investor? And even a company or an institution to not take any profits from a $7,000 investment is absolutely insane. Now, the other alarming thing about this is it was moved all in one. So someone moved $1 billion from an account that they invested 7,800 into, $1 billion in one transaction. They moved it for the first time in 14 years. There was no test transaction. Okay, so there was no test to see if it's safe, if it's going to arrive at the new wallet. It was just moved all at once. So very, very strange. So only two things could have happened here. Someone found their wallet. Okay, so someone found their wallet, and I don't know, after 14 years, what are the chances that you're going to find an old seed phrase? Maybe there's three outcomes here. They found an old wallet, and they moved their money, and just bizarrely decided not to even do a test amount, right? Decided to not just check if 100's okay to move. They decided to move $1 billion all in one transaction with no test, which is insane. Secondly, it's already a whale. Okay, so it's a whale who decided to split their risks and has loads of different wallets. Maybe it's even Satoshi himself, right? Has loads of different wallets and has purchased 7,000 in, I don't know, 20 different wallets and has like $20 billion and is slowly moving money out through a wallet, which is a good way. You would have been ahead of the times back then to actually buy up loads of different Bitcoin and loads of different wallets. And it's actually a great way to dollar cost average out, because everyone thinks, oh, that wallet's dead now. That's FUD. Oh, another wallet just moved. Oh, that wallet's dead now. And then you start trickling off through the wallets, right? That's another outcome. And then lastly, which I don't think is the case, but let's not be too confident, and let's always prepare for the worst. I like to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Let's say that it is being hacked and Quantum is currently in a process of going through some of these old wallets, or someone with some advanced Quantum software, and it is being hacked. These are the exact customers we would expect this to happen to, right? Accounts that look like retail that have gone on to 1,000x, 10,000x, that have not been touched, that have not been moved. And we would also expect it potentially to be all moved into one wallet as well, right? We wouldn't expect test transactions and all of this, because then that might take extra time. We might expect it to all be moved at the same time. So this is kind of the exact data that I would like to see for confirmation of something, going down. The tough thing about this is it would be very hard to spot, right? Because if the person who starts to hack is smart, which we can assume they are going to be, they are probably going to do this 1 billion every now and then, right? Or they're going to do 500 million here, 200 million there, 1 billion here. They're not just going to go whack, transaction, right? Because again, that's going to spook the market. That's going to send off some alarm signals. What they really want to do is just dollar cost average as the price goes up, just take some profit, and just keep siphoning off money, right? Because BlackRock is saying, buy Bitcoin. And they can just keep siphoning off money. And maybe it does get to the point where they think, hey guys, we could actually just liquidate 10 billion here. Let's just run 10 billion or whatever. That would be the ideal plan, is to actually not raise any alarm bells. Now, if you were siphoning off money via Quantum, you do know the risk of competition finding out that you were not, maybe you were first to market with this tech, and then your competition start to find out, it's actually possible. It just takes maybe a week or takes 2 weeks of processing or whatever. And then you would see an outbreak of dormant wallets. Okay, so that's when we really know that something's going down. When we see if we were to see loads of dormant wallets, just move, then we know that something's going down, and that would probably spook the market. And that's a day to watch out for. If we do ever see that day, guys, it would be, in my opinion, not financial advice, but it would be one of the greatest short opportunities of our lifetime. And also, I would expect gold to absolutely moonshot. Okay, so I would go short on BTC, and I would go long on gold. Okay, so long gold, short BTC, probably short Ethereum, probably short all crypto as well, because if Bitcoin gets hacked, Ethereum can get hacked. We're going to talk about that, because I actually I did look into it, and it can still be hacked. It's just it's a lot safer, so to speak, than Bitcoin, or it's a lot harder. Okay, so very, very alarming data. BlackRock actually posted about this recently as well. So BlackRock themselves, even though the bulls, the maxis are going to tell us on socials, buy, it's the next gold, it's not going anywhere, it's going to replace gold. Okay, BlackRock themselves are buying billions and also saying, hey guys, there's some serious risks here. This is not a no risk play, right? And Cointelegraph have posted here, in a rare move by BlackRock, has quietly added a new line to its iShares. So it added this line, okay? So it wasn't in there. It went and added this almost as a disclaimer, because obviously a lot of people are investing into the ETF. They kind of have to have a disclaimer here to say, look, if this gets hacked, you need to know the risks. This wasn't safe. We warned you about this. We warned you that this could happen. Bitcoin Trust filing, and it's turning heads. The update submitted in early May 2025, so this was only a couple of months ago, guys, flags quantum computing as a potential risk to Bitcoin's long-term security. The filing specifically warns that if quantum tech advances far enough, it could break the cryptographic systems that secure Bitcoin. In their words, it could undermine the viability, okay? And then we can go on here to see the BlackRock's actual post. If quantum computing is able to advance in that way, there is a risk that quantum computing could result in the cryptographic underlying the Bitcoin network becoming ineffective, which, if realized, could compromise the security of Bitcoin network or allow malicious actors to compromise the wallets holding Bitcoin owned by the trust. It did alarm me to see BlackRock going in so heavy and saying Bitcoin's the new gold and sell your Bitcoin, and it really did alarm me, given that we do have this really, like, it's a very unique system of words, right? People have billions of dollars locked up in a certain amount of words, and I personally have never liked it, right? I know people do like it. I personally have never liked it. I'd much rather have a bunch of more secure systems that prevent anyone from getting in access or prevent anyone getting into it. But it is what it is. It's for when Bitcoin was created, it was very useful. It was the perfect option at the time. But with quantum computing, there is huge risks, guys, and I personally wouldn't invest 100% into Bitcoin for this reason. Michael Saylor, of course, is very confident. We're going to talk about that because I think a lot of things have changed since Michael Saylor created his original strategy. And things have changed, right? IBM recently come out. This was like literally the other week. We're excited to share our plans for IBM Quantum Starling, expected to be the world's first large-scale fault-tolerant quantum computer. This new system to be delivered to clients in 2029. And this is to be delivered to clients, guys, okay? A ready-to-go product by 2029 is expected to perform 20,000 times more operations than today's quantum computers, okay? So go and read that report if you haven't. As you know, I'm investing heavy into quantum computing. I've been buying, I think, since January, even in this market, pumping, dumping, I don't care. I'm just going to dollar cost average into quantum. Go and check out my quantum videos if you want to look into that. So this is huge, guys. 20,000 more times operations. And how many times do we see this in tech, in investing? Oh, AGI is 50 years away, right? We're never going to get video AI. You're never going to get audio AI. And now we're so close to AGI. Some people would even argue we've reached AGI. And, it's 50 years, 20 years, then it's 5 years, and then, all of a sudden we've reached it. I think it's going to be the same with quantum and the same predictions. They already said, quantum is 10 years away, it's 15 years away, it's 20 years away. And now IBM have come out and they've said they've got a product that's ready to go to market by 2029. 4 years away, okay? 4 years. Now, this is very, very concerning because if they're 4 years away right now, and their new quantum is able to do 20,000 times more operations, because one of the FUDs about quantum is that it can only do a certain amount of operations, it can only do this, it can only do that. And if they're doing 20,000 more now, what are they going to be doing in 2 years' time? What are they going to be doing when they connect these quantum machines to AI? And AI is now running 1 trillion times faster, 100,000 times faster, right? And AI is now understanding how quantum works. AI is going to be able to reprogram quantum and come up with new quantum designs, and who knows, right? Maybe this thing just escalates out of control. And I think connecting quantum to AI is one of the next big narratives, movements, evolutions in tech that we have coming over the next 5 years. I'm really excited. I'm also really concerned about the negative impacts this is going to have on the world, right? If given and put into the wrong hands. So Google recently come out, and this is very recent. This is the 3rd of June. Quantum computing could break Bitcoin encryption for far easier than initially thought. Google researcher says. Okay, so a new research paper by Google quantum AI scientist Craig Gidney suggests that cracking widely used RSA encryption may require 20 times fewer quantum resources than previously thought. So here we go again, right? It's always it's miles away. It's don't worry about it. Keep buying. And then we get told, actually, mate, in 3 years, this might be a problem. So yeah, it's always the way. And of course, you have to remember, guys, that Michael Saylor, he doesn't look too confident here when asked about quantum. You have to understand that this guy, he's put his whole entire life on the line, his business, his reputation, and a lot of people's confidence are counting on his portfolio, because he keeps buying so much that if he gets wrecked, everyone gets wrecked, right? If he gets liquidated, everyone gets liquidated. And he's of course not going to say that this is a threat. He's of course not going to say, I'm really concerned about this. And I'm going to hold Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin can go to 1 million. I'm just not going to put 100% of my portfolio in, right? I'm not going to put 50% of my portfolio in. I'm going to diversify into real estate, stocks, crypto, metals. I'm more of a lower risk trader now, right? I was a high risk trader because I had to be a high risk trader. I was buying very low cap altcoins in the bear market because, if I want to turn 10K into 200K, I'm probably not going to do that on Bitcoin, right? And, I have a much better chance of putting that into Render, which would have done that, and Casper, which would have done that. And, that's kind of why I took more risk. And the more money I make, the less risk I'm going to take, because I don't have to take high risks anymore, right? I'm, of course, still going to build portfolios for those who are interested in high risk portfolios and low risk portfolios and medium, because, I know a lot of people are probably where I was last cycle or even the cycle before. So, yeah. It is not a complete risk-free situation. So yeah, although the study does not specifically mention Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, it targets encryption techniques that underpin the security of crypto wallets, and in some cases, transaction systems. RSA, a public key encryption system, is commonly used for securing data transmission. It uses a pair of linked keys, a public key encryption and a private key encryption. So I'm not going to waffle on about how RSA works. It's quite techy. Just picking up the major points here. So the researcher said, I estimate that a 2048-bit RSA integer could be factored in under a week by a quantum computer with a fewer than 1 million noisy qubits. Gidney wrote, this is significant, a revision from 2019, which required 20 million qubits and projected an 8-hour runtime. It's important to note that no such machine currently exists. IBM's most advanced processor can currently do 1,100. I don't know if they've seen the new IBM system because I think this was before the announcement. So IBM has just updated their new system, right? Now, they go on to project that, or I've researched further, and they project by 2030 they're going to be able to hack. Quantum's going to be able to hack, right? In the next 5 years, guys, it's not a joke, right? In 5 years' time, they expect that these systems are going to be able to be hacked. Now, I noticed a lot of institutional money was talking about Ethereum and talking about Bitcoin might have a slowdown and Ethereum is going to be bought up by the banks. So, I was thinking maybe they know this and then maybe they're trying to move away to Ethereum. Now, Ethereum developers are aware of the quantum risks. Ethereum Improvement Proposal EIPs could integrate PQC algorithms, for example, NISTS, lattice-based schemes like dilithium or Kyber to replace ECDSA. I'm not even going to pretend I know what this means, guys. This is proper nerdy dev talk. Transitioning requires a hard fork, which Ethereum has executed successfully. Unlike RSA-based systems, Ethereum's decentralized governance allows proactive upgrades. Okay, so it's a lot easier to upgrade Ethereum than it is BTC. Discussions on PQC integration are ongoing in the Ethereum community, though no concrete timeline exists as of 2025. Timeline comparison: Ethereum's ECDSA faces a similar quantum threat timeline as RSA 2048, 10 to 20 years. I mean, that's the old one, but its ability to upgrade via hard forks gives it an edge over static RSA implementations, for example. Can you imagine how hard it would be as well? All of those wallets, everyone's wallets, all of those decentralized wallets, how hard it would be to migrate those wallets, how hard it would be to upgrade to new systems, and how do you introduce a new system to someone that has a dormant wallet, that doesn't have access to it? It would be an absolute nightmare to do. Conclusion on quantum risk: Ethereum has a comparable quantum vulnerability to RSA-based systems due to ECDSA's susceptibility to Shor's algorithm. Gidney's estimate suggests RSA 2048 could be broken with 1 million noisy qubits and may require similar or slightly more resources. However, current quantum technology is far from cracking this. So really, really interesting. So I don't know where I got the 2030. Oh, here we go. By 2030, they expect that it's going to be able to crack it. So it's a very serious thing, and I think it's good to be prepared for that scenario. One of the FUDs, one of the counters is, if quantum can hack Bitcoin or crypto, then the traditional banking infrastructure is going to get wrecked, right? Oh, well, then TradFi, your current bank is going to get wrecked. That's true, guys, but how does your bank update security systems via software? They go into a boardroom, they discuss it, they hire engineers, they become quantum resistant, right? They hire a software company, they buy the tech, they become quantum resistant. It's a very, very different kettle of fish to a Bitcoin, right? It's very different kettle of fish to Ethereum. There is an entire network of people who have huge amounts of money inside these decentralized wallets. It requires hard forks, it requires votes. It's a very difficult, long process, and it's nowhere near the argument, the banks are going to have to do this. The banks can do it in a week. The banks can probably do it in a couple of days, right? They probably have backup plans right now to migrate their systems as soon as it becomes a threat, or if it becomes closer to being a threat, they will upgrade their systems. There are also being conversations with the same quantum computing companies. They'll be speaking to IonQ, they'll be speaking to Rigetti, they'll be speaking to IBM. Hey, how close are you to this? Do we need to act? Do we need to run a risk analysis? They'll be running risk analysis all the time. If you've ever worked for a bank, I worked for a regulated exchange, which is very similar to the way they operate. Is like a bank. I had to do 30 days of AML training, and the way they do so much risk management and analysis, and they even run like fake threats and fake scams, and we would get fake emails from our own company trying to break into our systems, right? Security and risk management is one of the top priorities for these kind of institutions, and they are going to be ahead of the game. I just think crypto, we're going to be a little bit lagging, and it's going to take, who knows what's going to happen. And also, if you've been invested in Bitcoin, look at that wallet who had 7K in Bitcoin and is now moving $1 billion. So many people are on these kind of gains, right? So many people have been holding and holding and holding. We know the whales have been holding so long. What happens in 2, 3, 4 years if it does become a threat? Are they going to sit and hodl and hope everything becomes okay? Or are they going to take some profits and de-risk just in case? And this is why I want to be prepared for this, because I love a short position. And, for me, this would be one of the biggest short opportunities of our lifetime. So not only can you make money on the way up in a bull run, you can have your own bull run on the way down if something like this happened. Because as soon as it came out and we had some developments, if it did become public, we would see one of the biggest sell-offs, and great opportunity for me personally to take a short. What else do we have here? Let's watch this Michael Saylor, because Michael Saylor is getting asked about quantum quite a lot. And let's actually watch this and see how he responds, because I'm not really confident in his response, and he doesn't really have a valid argument for it. Let's just play this.
It seems to be uncrackable. And I'm wondering if that will hold true far into the future with the development of quantum computing. Do you worry about that?
I don't worry about it. And I make the point, Microsoft and Google market their quantum projects, but they would never sell a quantum computer that cracked cryptography because it would destroy their own companies. And there isn't a practical use case for those quantum projects they've been marketing. I think at some point, a decade out, maybe.
All right, first of all, he said they would never sell a quantum computer that could hack Bitcoin. We live in a free market, okay? There's not just one entity creating these quantum computers. We live in a free market. There's also a lot of countries don't like Bitcoin, right? We know that China are not a massive fan of Bitcoin. Can you imagine if North Korea got a hold of a quantum computer, or maybe North Korea are even working on quantum? We know that North Korea love to hack crypto. They have stolen billions of dollars, and they have some of the smartest hackers. Even our best hackers have said those North Korean hackers are in another league because they were able to hack Bybit, right? And they had very secure systems, procedures, and they were still able to hack Bybit. So look, I don't think we're going to be at a situation where they're like, oh, we can't advance with this tech because it might hack, it might hack their systems. That's not going to happen. Their systems will just become more stringent, right?
Maybe 10, 20 years, maybe whenever, there'll be a powerful computer. It may start.
Okay, he said 10, 20 years. We already know it's 5 years.
To threaten modern cryptography. When it does it, it'll be a threat to Microsoft, Google, JP Morgan, the U.S. government.
I will add as well, he knows it's 5 years, right? He knows it's 5 years, but he's also saying 10, 20 years to counter the FUD.
Years, maybe whenever, there'll be a powerful computer. It may start to threaten modern cryptography. When it does it, it'll be a threat to Microsoft, Google, JP Morgan, the U.S. government. It may be a threat to Bitcoin. When it is.
Okay, he said there might be a threat. Okay, and he is holding so much Bitcoin. He has to admit that there might be a threat. Is it a possibility? Yes. Okay. If the possibility was no, I would have no issues having a lot of my money inside Bitcoin and crypto, right? If there was a guaranteed no, there is no way that this can get hacked, or there's no quantum, etc. I wouldn't have any issues having a lot. I wouldn't never have 100% in one asset. I just think that's insane. But is there a possibility? Yes. Okay, that's all I need to know personally. That's all I need to know to not allocate too much money into Bitcoin. Now, I believe in Bitcoin. I think it's going to 10x. I think it's going to go to 1 million. But what if I'm wrong? If I have 30% of my net worth in Bitcoin and I'm wrong, I'm okay, right? It's going to be disgusting, but I'm able to, it's not going to go to zero overnight. I'm able to dollar cost average out. I can set DCA out strategies. And I'm probably not going to lose that entire 30%, right? I might lose 15% of that, which obviously I don't want to lose, guys. But that's how I would play it. I don't know whether it's going to be 30%, whether it's going to be 50%. Maybe we'll see. Maybe the blockchain does migrate and becomes quantum resistance, and that would give me more confidence. But that's how I would play it, just from that simple yes. He said it might get hacked. BlackRock said it might get hacked. Well, I know that I cannot put too much money into this asset personally.
Is a threat. All of these organizations are going to upgrade their crypto protocols to be quantum resistant. You'll see it coming a mile away, and every other digital entity in the world is more vulnerable to that idea or that threat than Bitcoin. And so they're all going to upgrade, and we'll be talking about it while you're reviewing Microsoft stock or Apple stock exposure.
That's true. He sounds very uncomfortable when he's answering that question as well, by the way. He knows it's a real threat. He knows it's an issue. And he said, we'll all be talking about it before it happens. That's likely, okay? It's likely that these companies get closer and closer to 1 million, I think it's called Q processes or whatever. The companies get closer and closer, and then we start to, as humans, this is what we do. We do everything last minute. I think, why not work on it now? You know where this tech is headed. You know that we're seeing these developments from IBM and, 20,000 more operations. So much money is coming into this sector. Why not just do it now? and rather do it last minute. Because what happens if it becomes aware, like if we wait for IBM to get 50% or 70% of the way into being able to hack Bitcoin, what's going to happen, guys? People are going to start to dump it, right? It's a real threat, and I don't think people are taking it very seriously right now. I don't think they are, and there's not many people talking about it, right? Because you don't see many. You either see people who are maxis or bears. You don't see people in the middle. Personally, I'm in the middle, right? I'm confident. I love Bitcoin. I love decentralization. I love taking control of your own finances, your own assets, and I'm also risk averse, right? So I'm aware of the risks. I know that this is a new technology. I know that it can potentially get hacked, and I don't want to be taking too many risks personally when there is real danger here. And even Blackrock have come out and put a disclaimer. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, guys. I think it's a serious subject. I don't think many people talk about it, and obviously maxis probably aren't going to talk about it because a lot of these maxis, guys, have hundreds of millions, 50 millions in their, many millions in their accounts. And why are they going to talk about a hack on Quantum, right? Why are they going to talk about hack? They've probably got targets they want to hit. They've got DCA out targets. They love Bitcoin. Some people have become really, really attached to Bitcoin, not just for profit. Some have become, it's almost like a cult, right? Some people are really treating it as a cult, as if nothing can impenetrate it, and nothing can break the code. And I think personally, I prefer to prepare for the worst. Always have a plan for the worst. And could you lose all your money overnight? Yes. Yeah, of course, absolutely. Is it likely? No. But is it possible? Yes. Oh, okay. In that case, I don't want to be in that position. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. If you want to join us, we nearly have up to 1,000 members in our Discord now. If you want to join us, I'm biased, but I think it's one of the best Discords in the community. We're always looking for new stocks to invest in. We are getting into Quantum, so if you want to see the Quantum stocks I've been buying, you can see them in the Discord. We are doing leverage trades. The guys, they love their leverage trades. Big up the guys here, absolutely printing. Lenny, little overnight cook, 127% on hype, lovely trade. We also have a professional trader. Look at that, so long. That's a so short, brilliant, 300x, madman. Big up Bill, 976%. Urbans, 1,214% close short on Inge, banging short. 1290 down to 1130, lovely. So we have a professional trader who gives trades here. So you can see professional leverage trader, and they give their longs and shorts. Obviously, we've got our chat groups. We also track on-chain activity. So we can see what the smart money are doing in real time. So we can see here smart money sent $579,000 of STRK in the last 24 hours, 2.8 times the recent average. So I would go and look at STRK. What is going on here? Are they sending it to an exchange to sell? Are they sending it to wallets to hold? So maybe they're accumulating STRK. Actually, there's a lot of transactions here for this token. So I'm going to go and check that today. Retail money signals. Retail's really good. Some people underestimate retail, but what I noticed that lately, a lot of retail wallets are actually being classed as retail wallets, but a lot of the exchanges are setting up wallets using software. So they'll set up 2,000 wallets and they'll accumulate a token through those wallets, so it almost looks like retail, and then they'll pump the market. That's kind of what they've done with Moodeng when Moodeng rallied, and we saw all of these fresh wallets were buying Moodeng. It seemed like it was one entity or one market maker that was pushing up the price. Really, really cool data that I look for Confluence. We can see STRK as well on the fresh wallets. Fresh wallets received 2.27 million of STRK in the last 24 hours, 20 times the recent average. See, exactly what I was just talking about. This is one of the tactics they use. I'm going to look at this today. If that price is pumping, it looks like they are up to something. And then top balance changes I really like as well, because this basically shows the top holders of a token. When they start to sell a token, that's a massive red flag, right? If the top 25 holders is increasing or decreasing, it gives us a real good overview of what's going on with that project, right? If we start to see top 25 holders balances increased by 47.7 million today, versus yesterday. If the top holders are buying more, they're likely to get the news first, right? They're likely to get the inside information first because they're the biggest holders. They're kind of the stakeholders, so to speak, and they're going to be in direct contact with the project, the team. They're going to hear the latest information. If the team come back and say, hey guys, we had some really good developments, we've just partnered with MasterCard, we might be getting listed on Coinbase next week, the top 25 holders are going to be the people who buy more, right? They buy more. So yeah, really good data. If you want to see this data and you want to get involved with us and you want to join our Discord, head over to my X account. So you can see my X account here. There's the name. Head over there and then just click this link, which will take you through to Patreon. And when you sign up for the Patreon, you get access to the Discord. You also get the SMC bot for free. So the SMC bot is a bot that gives buy and sell signals like this. So buy, sell, buy, sell. Look at these buy signals as well. Literally bottom of the market, bottom of the market. I think we ended up getting another buy signal here. This is where we bought at as well. Like we bought into this dip here. I've already taken profits from this pump, but yeah, it's been a really cool tool for nailing bottoms and trying to snap out of bearishness and getting into it. That's it for now, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest. And yeah, until then, I will catch you in the next one.